Okay, friends, welcome in. It is March 14th, and we are going to go over your brand, your business, mastering designs in Command. Now, for any of us that were at family reunion, you may have heard some little birdies saying that we're going to have Canva coming up soon. However, we are still under contract with Rebrand for right now. So I don't want to just sit and not show you how to use what you have at your fingertips. Is it Canva? No. Does it work? Yes. And everything is already branded to Keller Williams and it's built into the system, which does give it a little bit of benefit there over using Canva. Now, in no way do I want you to hear me saying that you cannot use Canva. If you love using Canva, do it. Just make sure that you always put your office's logo on everything that you're doing. I'm sure that Jim would appreciate me saying probably put fair housing logos on stuff that you're doing. Making sure that we're identifying our brands, right? We are part of our office. Now we are working under their umbrella with our own business under the umbrella of our office. So you can feel free to use your logos, but do not leave off your office's logo on your branding. Okay. So now that I have disclaimers out of the way, let's talk about how you can brand your business in Command. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about in using Command is that setting up your assets in our current design platform is going to be your friend. If you take nothing else away from today, take away that you're going to set up your assets, and then you can be like, thank you, Monica, you just made my life so much easier. Because everybody that I've shown this to was like, I didn't know you could do that. You can. So let's go ahead and hop over to agent.kw.com. We are going to log into Command with our Keller Williams credentials. So I'll give you guys a second if you're following along. Heading into agent.kw.com and logging in with our Keller Williams credentials. Okay, hopefully everybody is good. Now we are going to go to designs. It's the paintbrush that's on the little square. That is the applet that we're going into. Just remember, guys, these applets over on the left, we can always click the white KW on the red background in the upper left corner and pop those names of those applets right out in case you forget what they are. And we are heading into designs. Okay. So if you're looking at your little sheet, and you guys can feel free to keep this sheet, it's just a Google Drive document, right? And at KW, if you're using your Keller Williams Google Suite, you have unlimited drive storage. So you can just save this sheet in your Google Drive. And the next time I teach this, if there's anything new, we'll update the same sheet. Right now, we're going over the part of setting up your assets, which is our first little section up here. So if you get behind or if you have questions after the fact, you can easily access these resources right here. Okay. All right. So we are in the designs applet now. Note on the left-hand side, we are still in Command. We can still see our applets over there. And any designs that you have created are going to be showing up here. You can filter through them. You can delete them in bulk. You can take some actions here on this screen. However, once we come up into the upper right corner, and I know that some of you probably have your Zoom images over the top of your upper right corner, you can drag those down. You can drag your Zoom images down, and you should be able to see the Create Design button in the upper right. I'll give everybody a second to get to that part. Everybody's good? Okay. We're going to go ahead and click Create Design and choose Social. And then we're going to click Next. Now notice once I click Next, all of my command applets are going to fall away from the left. Okay. So we're going to click Next. Command applets go away. We are now inside of WeBrand, which is who is currently providing our branding materials inside of Command. So command applets are gone from the left. You can have more than one command window open at a time. So if you're ever working on some flyers or something, but you also need to be inside of your contacts, or doing anything else, I usually just open another window, go to Command, and I can have that second window open. So that is an option. But also, just in case you are in here and you're like, how the heck do I get back? Click on your picture in the upper right, and you can click log out, and boom, it'll bring you back into Command. Okay, everybody good? All right. So again, we're going to go create design, social, next. Once we get here into the WeBrand system, we're going to see some tabs up at the top right here. And we are going to head over to assets. Okay. Now, once we get into our assets section, right, this is where we have an opportunity to set up items that we're going to want to use over and over and over again when we're making flyers, social media posts, postcards we can make in here, door hangers, business cards, email signatures, right? We can make all of those types of things here in this system. So I branded myself with the color teal. So you can see on my business cards, I've got like a teal color. I've still got my KW logos and all of that. I'm still, you know, following my rules. And teal's just my color, right? It's my brand color. So you can see that I have set up a color palette here that does have the Keller Williams gray, black, and red, but I've also added my two colors of teal as options there, as well as this off-white color that I like to use in my designing and branding, right? And all of these other color templates is just from where I've shown you guys how to do it, but I will add another one so that you guys can see how it works. So if you want to add, oh, got weird sounds happening.
It's probably me. Sorry, I turned my
It's okay.
my computer is like overheating. I need to get a new computer. But quick question with so I use Canva a lot, and with Canva, there's a way to like I've chosen okay, these are my brand colors. These are the ones I want to use, and they have like numbers to them. Is it possible to like take the number of Canva and look it up in here? Is that
Probably, yep. When I create this new template, I'm going to show you the 3 different methods of adding the colors. And so depending on which numbers in Canva, and you'll be able to go back and see it, it's more than likely a hex code. Okay. So once we get in here, then you can go back and check Canva and see if that's the case. All right. So we're going to click the add a palette button. If you want to add your own brand colors, you're going to click add palette, and you're going to get a nice clean blank palette here. So I'm just going to retitle this so I know what it is. This is the class, Your Brand, Your Business on 314, just so I know what it is. Now, when you click plus, you're going to see these are RGB codes down here at the bottom. So Grace, if Canva is using RGB, this is where the numbers that you would copy from Canva and put them here. Or you can hit these little arrows and it's going to change it to HSL, which is another option that they could be using. Or if you click again, you're going to see hex codes. So this may be what they're using. I prefer hex codes. The reason that I really like them is you can literally go to Google, right, and say, okay, I love sunshine and I want the hex code for sunshine yellow. Enter. Okay. And it's going to show you a bunch of different hex codes that you can look at for sunshine yellow, like this one, which is, I have a bad memory, so we're just going to write it down, F5, FE49. Okay. So then I can go back over here, click the plus button, go to hex, and go to F5, FE49, enter. I've got yellow. So you can look up all kinds of hex codes, Sunset orange was one that I just saw popping up when I was typing. So you can look up all kinds of different colors by any of those 3 types of color codes. Your other option is you have just this little dragging mechanism down here. So when I first established my brand colors, this was kind of years ago, I just kind of drug it until I saw the color that I liked. And then I clicked it until I found the one that I liked the way it looked. And then I looked to see what the hex code and stuff was and denoted that for myself. So if I was ever anywhere else, like when I created my business cards, I could have that code. So you have that option as well. If you've not established brand colors, you could just pick the one that you think looks nice and then note the codes for your colors. Pretty cool? Okay, awesome. So that's how you can set up color palettes for yourself to use repeatedly in your designs when you're creating different things in Command. I'm going to show you where you actually apply these things shortly. You could also upload fonts. So if you had a designer design you a font, if you bought a font, if you just saw a font that you liked, you can go to web fonts and you can look through the ones that are here. If you just want to see something that you think you're going to like waterfall, I can turn it on and click add, and waterfall will download into my system. Or you can actually upload a font in a TTF, WOFF, or OTF format. So if you had somebody create you a font, or if you purchased one, just make sure it's in one of those 3 formats and that you actually own it. And then you can add it here, because it says by uploading a font, you're confirming that it's legally eligible for web embedding. So that means when you bought it, you needed to make sure that it was eligible for web embedding. Okay, so you can add fonts here. I've added a ridiculous amount because that's how many times I have taught people to do this. But like Amsterdam, for example, I actually purchased Amsterdam online and uploaded it here. The other ones, I just did the web font download. Cool. Questions about that? Awesome. Let's move on to images. So we're going on the left. Just a side note, Keller Williams Realty has already established their brand stuff. So it's in here already. They already put some images and text and things like that in there. You're looking to add to your assets. So you're looking for where it says my assets on the left, like so. And I'm going to click on images. Now, here is where you can upload images that you're going to use over and over and over again. So my logo, KW Tech Coach, my logo for my labs advisors, where I'm always congratulating people for the 201 Plus Club. Any images that you're going to want to use repeatedly, my headshots down here. I even have a folder of headshots, right? If you have multiple different headshots, some you're standing, some you're sitting. I saw one of my agents the other day. She's like jumping for joy because her client's closed. So she, uploaded that one in there. So you can make folders of images as well. So I have a folder for my QR codes, headshots, cityscapes, because I use pictures of Winston-Salem in a lot of my branding. So you can make multiple folders and you will always have access to these. So when you're creating something, you don't have to go, oh my gosh, where did I save that on my computer? And frantically look all over the place. Like I used to do, because that is how I used to operate. Now I just make sure I upload everything here in my assets so I know exactly where it is when I need it. Any questions about uploading images for use? Good.
Sorry, again, mine does not have, so I'm in the image folder. It does not have the upload button for me or the new folder button.
Are you on a Mac?
I'm on a PC on Google Chrome.
Really?
Mhm.
I will stick with me after Grace, and let's look at that because that should not be happening, especially
Okay.
not if you're in Google Chrome.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome, honey. Anybody else? Any questions about it? Just checked in. It says hex codes transfer from. Oh, good. I just saw that. That's great. Okay, good deal. So images, we can do that. Who likes writing the same thing over and over and over again and having to type your name and your phone number and your email and your website and your office address and your office license number and your license number every time that you make something? No, you don't like doing that? I don't like doing that. So you can also add text that you're going to want to use repeatedly. Love where you live is my tagline. I have that added. My Facebook handle, my Instagram handle, my TikTok handle, my phone number, my website, the company address, my license number, my office's license number. And I've even added some blocks of text, like my name, phone number, email, and website all in one little block. As you're creating designs in here, I think we're going to have designs for at least another year. Don't be mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger, just because of our contracts. But as I've made designs, I've noticed places where text is kind of together. And I failed you guys. I was going to make a list of the types of text that I usually find. One is a chunk of my contact information. Another is, I think I've put it in a folder. You can also create folders for your texts. This one right here, where it's your email, the line, your website, the line, your phone number, and it's broken up by the line in between. I've just seen those in different designs that I've made, so I've gone ahead in here and added those things to my text. All you do is click add text in the upper right, and you can choose what type of text it is, or go all the way to the bottom and choose other and give it your own label, like your TikTok handle or whatever. If we're even going to continue to have TikTok, I think we will. Just throwing it out there. But you can, put that in there, and then you can always use it when you need to get to it. Cool deal? Text, any questions on text? Ready? Good? Cool. Logos. If you have your own logo, like I do, West Winston Real Estate, and you have one for your brand, fantastic. Upload it here so you can easily grab it when you need it. Also, equal housing opportunity in the Realtor MLS logos are good things to add here so that you can add them to your designs and your branding when you need to, okay? Plus, if you didn't know, your market centers have a suite of logos in different colors, with a background, with no background, that you can use. So, my teals, for example, I'm not a huge fan of putting the red KW logos on top of the teal. So I quite often use the all white or the gray and white combo, or sometimes even the black. So other than my KW1 office in Greensboro, from where you guys merged, everybody else can go to KW Connect, kwconnect.com, and hover over resources, come down to marketing. So kwconnect.com, hover over resources on your black bar at the top, slide down, come to marketing. There's a lot of good stuff here. And the thing that we're going to click on is the very first one, which is logos and branding. Okay. Once we're there, where you have the ability to download the identity and style guide, which is good to know how to get to if you're ever going to have something custom made, t-shirts, koozies, keychains, pins, and the person that's making them says, do you guys have like a brand style guide? Yes, you do. And this is where you can go and get that. But we're going to bypass that and go down a little bit. This is where you can type your market center number in. And yes, I know all of you by heart. 509 is Greensboro, but yours are not in here. KW1, they're still the old Greensboro logos. So I've got another solution for you. Bear with me. But everybody else, Chapel Hill, KW United, market center number 685. Winston-Salem, Keller Williams Realty Elite 994. Durham, Keller Williams Elite Realty, very close, not the same, number 1033. And Outer Banks, you are number 1133. I cannot stress to you guys enough the importance of knowing which market center logo is actually yours, because I am in 2 market centers, both named Elite, but just a little bit different. Winston is 994 preview. It looks like that, right? KW Elite. Durham is 1033 preview. It looks like this. So not the same logos, and I have seen Durham agents with Winston's and Winston agents with Durham, so please make sure you're using the right logo for your business. Now, my KW1 folks, I have a Google Drive with your logos. They're also in your Facebook group. I'm sure they've also been put into the WhatsApp a time or two, but I will go ahead and drop in case you guys don't have them. Hello. I'm like, I know I have the KW1 logos somewhere, because there we go. It's the first one. I don't know how I ended up with 2 folders. Let me share this in the chat. And if you're watching us on YouTube or you're watching this recording later, just feel free to reach out and I will share it with you. All right, so KW1, you have your logos in the chat, and you also have them in a bunch of different colors and stuff like that too, okay? So you can take those logos and upload them here. So my Outer Banks folks, you have all of these colors. Elite, Durham, all of these colors. United, you have these. KW1, you have those. And KW Realty Elite in Winston-Salem have this top section here. Okay. Questions about logos? Pretty good? Great. Okay. Elements, it's like buttons, shapes. Maybe if you use something in Canva, you saved it as a PNG and uploaded it here because you liked it, you could do that 100%. There is currently no use case for videos and files, so why the buttons are there, Monica doesn't have an answer to, but even the answers.kw.com article about designs tells you that there is no use for those 2 things at this moment. Speaking of those links, there's a help article on how to add your brand assets to this system that is in your resources that takes you through everything that I just showed you. So if you forgot something and you need to go back and revisit, you've got direction. Everybody feeling good? Cool. All right, so we have made it through setting up your assets. So now let's go on down to the next section about creating your listing marketing. Okay. Go ahead and close all this out. And we're going to go to the templates section now. Okay. Now, the reason that we always hear list to last is because for every listing that you take, think about it. If you're participating with Coming Soon, that's a chance to market, right? Just listed, chance to market. Open house, it's a chance to market. If you have to reduce the price, which I've seen a little bit of right now, that's another chance to market, right? Maybe, I mean, if you've been in business for 16 years like I have, you've actually had listings that sit on the market for a little bit and they're not just listed anymore. They're just for sale. There's another chance to market, right? You have a second open house. It goes under contract. It closes. I mean, we're already looking at 7 chances, right? And you can do a combination of things. You can social media posts. You could send out emails to your database. You could do postcards if that's within your budget, right? You can come up with all different kinds of ways 7 times over to market your business. So I always recommend that you guys, even if you don't have a listing yet, come in here and set up some listing marketing for yourself. Now, KW did give us this auto create feature like last year at Family Reunion. I've got to be quite honest, I'm not a huge fan because I just went through showing you guys how to set up your brand assets. And when you use Auto Create, it lets you put your listing in. You can search for your listing, and it creates a couple of different things for you, but none of them are in my brand colors. I don't have an option to choose what color I want all the stuff to be. Number two, I have to upload my logo to every single one. So for me personally, Auto Create is not my friend. I just don't like it. Okay. That's what this first section of templates is. But then there's a section for listings. This is what I like, and we're actually going to create a flyer together because it's got the most editable pieces. And we're going to use my brand assets so that you guys can follow along and see how it works. Okay. All right. So I'm going to choose this flyer and click use. The little use button in the upper right corner. It's going to open the flyer up for me. And ta-da, there's the flyer. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. But if you're working on it yourself, you might not have to do this. And I'm going to, if somebody has a listing, put the address in the chat. If not, I'm just hopping into my MLS and pulling from my office's listings a cute listing that I can market for the purposes of this class, or I'm happy to do it with one of yours if you have an address that you can drop into the chat. I think I need to read my memos in the MLS. Let's pick something fancy, because why wouldn't we? Sort by address here. Sparta, Winston. Ooh, this has got to be nice. Yeah. Who has this listing? Jackson Foddy and Teresa Blackburn. That is beautiful. Over in Buena Vista, not Buena Vista, in Winston-Salem. I'm going to copy this MLS number, and we're going to make some marketing for this property. Pull that away, and we'll get this closed and out of our way. There we go. Okay. So if you didn't know this, which a lot of people don't, on the left, when you're making a design, you can choose from KWLS. There's a little house, looks like that. Click it, search. So if the listing is already in the MLS, right? If it's not in the MLS because you're doing a coming soon flyer, this won't work. But if it is already in the MLS, you can search by the listing address, the MLS number, KWLS ID, the listing agent, etc. I just use that listing, that MLS number. That's what I'm going to search with. I'm going to hit enter and wait for the magic. There it is. 2725 Windsor Road, select. And look, all the pictures are there. I don't have to upload them. I don't have to go find them. I'm going to click on the picture of this kitchen in my design. I'm going to look for the picture over here on the left that I want to replace it with. Maybe this one. I'm going to hit the recycle button. Boom. Switched it out. Okay. Slide down. I'm going to click on this picture of the kitchen. Look for what I want to replace it with. And maybe that is this picture of the kitchen. Recycle button. Boom. Swapped it out. And I'm just going to keep going through. Click. I've got a blue box around what I'm replacing. Swap. Pretty cool, right? Haven't uploaded anything at all. So now I've swapped out the pictures. I'm going to click here on the address. I'm going to come up here and click listing details. Here's the address. Swap. Haven't typed anything, haven't uploaded anything. Okay. So you guys get the point. You can pull the stuff in for your listings from the KWLS if it's already in the MLS. Fair? All right. And this is 3.75 million. Let me show you something with the text, right? I don't ever like to swap the price because it's got that USD behind it and it makes it look all wonky. So I click on stuff as well. And then there's a button up here a lot of people don't know about called the typewriter. You can just click on that and it pops up a text box. So I can just put in that really, really expensive price of 3,750,000 and click Save Changes. And it will swap out those numbers for me right where I was doing that, which is nice. But now let's get into the my branding part of this, right? I want my teals. I want my stuff. I'm going to click on this red circle. I can see up here where it's red, that's the fill color. I'm going to drop it. Here's the colors that are currently on the template, but up here I have a drop down for library colors, and looky there, it's my main palette. Teal. Click on just listed. Click on the text color. My main palette is still expanded. Teal. Scroll down this bar, click, click, teal. Click down here. That's the text, teal. Logo. Well, I have logos. So as soon as I clicked on the logo and put the blue box around it, look what happened over here on the left. It took me to the logo section. Currently in the workspace, I'm going to click on my assets. Okay. And there's my logos. Obviously, you guys probably are not in 5 market centers, so you'll just have yours sitting there. But look, I just replaced, changed. Lisa, you're beautiful. You're not Monica. So I'm going to click on Lisa's picture. Images, my assets. I have all these folders. There's my headshot. Replace. Her name. Click. Text. My assets. And I've got my name in here. Obviously, yours won't be as crazy as mine. I need to clean it up. I just hit replace, swaps it out. Here's that text that's got the line in between the phone number and the email and all that stuff. I was prepared for that. And I have that under my contact information. There it is, broken up by the line. Replace. I've still not typed a single thing. I haven't uploaded anything. I've literally just hit the recycle button and I'm almost finished with this flyer, right? So once you've done this, and if you don't have a listing yet, you can still come in here and change all the colors, like find the flyer you like, change the colors, put your picture in, just leave the generic listing material, like the pictures and the addresses and stuff, until you get a listing. And then you can come up here where you rename the design and say, this is Monica's just listed flyer, right? And it saves it. So now the buttons up at the top, let me tell you a little something about them. Home keeps you inside of designs. Done saves your design and takes you back into command. So for now, I want to click home and I'm going to save. Okay. And it's going to take me back into designs under the My Designs tab, or My Projects rather. And there's that flyer I just made, right? So while theoretically I liked that auto create thing with the different marketing pieces, it doesn't have all of my stuff in it. So instead of using that, what I have chosen to do is make a folder for myself here under My Projects called Listing Marketing, right? So if I open up my listing marketing folder, you're going to see a lot of my brand colors, flyers, social media posts, postcards, door hangers, listing presentation. All of this stuff is in my listing folder. And if I get a new listing, I do not have to recreate the flyer. All I'm going to do is click the 3 dots, right? And then click duplicate. It's going to create a copy of that flyer that I like. I'm going to open it up. This is just like the one I just made. I'm just going to edit out the listing stuff. I don't have to edit anything else anymore because I've already saved it. Right? So with branding, consistency is key. So everybody that sees anything from me, it has that color of teal on it. My business cards have it, my postcards have it, flyers, social media posts, all of the things that I do have this color of teal on it. It is part of my brand, right? So once you create everything, just one of them, you can save them here, right? And then you can just make a copy each time you get a new listing. And guess what? As realtors in the state of North Carolina, I think realtors everywhere, we're supposed to keep our listing marketing for 7 years. Did you know that? Terrifying and yet true. So technically I am keeping it as here, right? When I get a listing last month, then I get one the next week, then I just make a copy of the flyer. I still save the last one. Now I've got the new one. It's a place to save it. It's a place to store it. You're following rules because, you know, we don't want to go to real estate jail. Okay. Questions on how I utilized the assets or the KWLS when I was making that flyer? Everybody feels good? Click what you want to replace. Find what you're replacing it with on the left. Recycle button. Okay. Now let's look at a couple of fun things. We can put this in play for everything that we do. Listing stuff, absolutely. We have some buyer items here, right? We have a buyer presentation for your buyer consults. We have neighborhood snapshots, which they're not my favorite thing in the world unless you're in the middle of the city like I am, or maybe, you know, all of my offices are in pretty big cities, Outer Banks. I love y'all. I'm sorry. There's just not a lot of neighborhoods in next door. But for those of us that are in kind of the city area, they're okay. I mean, you can click use on one of them to check it out if you would like. And once you pull it up, how you're going to replace it is you're going to click this little section here. And on the left, you're going to choose KWLS again. And then you're going to click on snapshots at the top and search for a neighborhood name or zip code. So if I search for my zip code, which is 27104, it takes it a second, by the way, to populate this information. So we're going to give her a little grace. Okay. So see, those say NA right now, but sometimes I can get it to work. It just depends on its mood that day. Old Sherwood Forest is my neighborhood in Winston-Salem. So we'll try, there it is, and see if there's anything in here today. It depends on what's sold in the neighborhood recently. Nothing. Okay. So it's not working today. It's in a mood. But theoretically, it's a good idea. So hopefully we get something similar moving forward, but you can use all of this kind of stuff too, which is fine. So that's what those are. Somebody asked me about them the other day, so I thought I would make mention of those buyer neighborhood snapshots. Back under templates, I'm going to collapse buyer. Under lead gen, we have client love, client testimonials. If you get a really great testimonial on Google or something, highlight it. Take a picture of your client, make a pretty post about it, and put it on social media. And something else cool you could do with it, I'm going to click use on this one, for example. This one's sized for a social story, right? So I would put whatever they said about me in here, and maybe a picture of my clients there. Obviously, I'm going to switch out my logo to the one where my license is actually hanging. So I'm going to swap that out. We're going to pretend that I've uploaded their picture here. One cool thing that you can do with these is you can animate them. So if you're scrolling on social media or if you're doing a story, it's great to have a little bit of movement, right? So if I click animate, I usually take my page duration to about 6 seconds and my in and out duration to 2 or 3. I can apply the same animation to all pages, or I can choose to animate all of the elements together if I want. I'm going to choose page animation here. I can bounce in the pieces, swing in the pieces, fade in the pieces. You can kind of go around and look and see which one you like. So maybe I like this one. Then I can download this as a video or a GIF file. I'm not going to say it because we'll get into a quandary about which one how it's pronounced. So I'm just going to say GIF. But you can choose to download an MP4, an MOV, a GIF, or a WebM. I've never used that one, so I'm not sure what it would be for. MP4, great for Windows. MOV, great for Mac. GIF, that's the one that just kind of goes and goes and goes, right? It's not a true video. It's technically an image that's animated. Okay. Questions on animating our social post. When you do that, you just have to make sure to save it as one of those 3 file formats and then upload it directly to your social platform of choice. Good. Another cool one with the animation point is not necessarily animating it. Go back. But somebody reached out to me. I had never played with this design before, and she was like, I found this design and it's got multiple pages and I want it to like go through the pages. And it was a market expert. Yes, it was. Tax benefits homeowners should know about. You can see it's got 7 pages. It's kind of like scrolling across down here. If you choose to use this one with the multiple pages, obviously you want to swap out your logos, right? So we'll let that pop up. Oops, I forgot to silence my iPad. Sorry if y'all hear those emails coming through behind me. You're going to want to change out your logos and all of that kind of fun stuff. Then the pages are down here at the bottom. This would be the same if it was like a buyer consultation or a listing presentation. That's how you get to the next page. But you could edit these if you wanted to. If you wanted them to say something different. And then the last page of this, my goodness, this thing is moving as slow as molasses. Thank you. The last page is for you to actually customize, or the local benefits. The next to last page shares some of the local tax benefits in your city and state. If you don't want to look those things up, you can just delete this page. Boop. Like so. Then when you download this, you need to download it as a movie, an MOV, a MP4, or a GIF. When you do it that way, and then you go to post it, bear with me 1 second. I'm going to pull up my business page where I did post one of these. It's on this one, I think. No, it was on KW Tech Coach. Hold, please. Sorry. Maybe I don't need to have quite so many business pages. I'm pretty sure it was here. Yes. And then it moves and it goes through different pages on your Facebook or wherever, which I think is pretty cool. You could also upload that to Instagram and it would move. So just a little thing there. I forgot to delete the page, so make sure that you delete it. But I think it's a pretty neat little feature that you can use there. And last but certainly not least, consistency again is key, right? That's not only consistency in what your brand looks like, it's the frequency with which you're posting things. And so many people, I had a one-on-one yesterday with a newer agent, and she was like, I don't know what to post. Like, that's a lot of posting. I don't know what to post. Come in here and look around, right? Because we have these holidays broken into months. For the month of March, Women's History Month, St. Patrick's Day is this Sunday. Spring is what? The 22nd is the first day of spring, I think. We just had the Set Your Clocks Forward. We have Happy International Women's Day, Employee Appreciation Day, all these different things that you can post about. These are easy things that you can post about, right? So when you're like struggling to come up with content, don't neglect the fact that we have holidays, right? For each month. Now we have a little lull in the latter end of the summer. So maybe post something about loving referrals or something during that time. Got tax season, all that kind of fun stuff that we can do. Easter, Passover, Earth Day, April Fool's Day. We have so many different ones on here that you can use to give yourself content to post. And lots of people, and I gave this idea to her yesterday in our one-on-one, have forgotten about the fact that we can really use our new websites, which are lovely, to come up with content to post. It's not enough for us just to be sharing monicaperry.kw.com and sending somebody to the search page, right? Cultivate the experience for the person. If I know that this person wants to live in 27104 in Winston-Salem, like that's their dream, and right now they rent an apartment in 27104 or a condo, but they hope to own here one day, right? I can actually look up the 27104 zip code normally. It's being weird. Bear with it. I do have a test version of this website, so it might be being wonky. Okay. Let me see if it'll, thank you. Okay. Winston-Salem 27104. There we go. It's just wanting to give me a hard time because I'm on camera. I'm used to it. Sorry. I am testing something new, but I can't show you guys yet, but I can't wait until I can. Hold on. Let me open a new one. I cannot wait for some of the new stuff that's coming out. I'm just going to use the city. Maybe I just know that they want to live in Winston-Salem. Then I can look up Winston-Salem on my website. It's going to put the border around the city and show me all the listings that are in Winston-Salem, right? So now if I know that this person's price point is between $350 and $425 is like them really, really pushing it and apply. These are all the houses that are in Winston-Salem that fit in that person's budget or range. I can share this link with them and say, hey, here are all of the listings that are in Winston-Salem between your low and high end of your budget, right? I can share the link. I can right click anywhere on a page on the internet and create a QR code. I can share it that way. I could put this on a flyer. Interested in living in Winston-Salem? Interested in homes in Winston-Salem that you could buy for less than what you're paying in rent? And I can put the QR code on the flyer. I could make a business card with that. I could put that on a postcard. Any of those things. Then I have forced registration turned on my website. They come here and they're like, well, I want to look at this. And it says, no, you need to log in. It lets them actually look at too. Usually it's just that I've already done that on this computer. Then they're going to have to log in. And then guess what? I've captured their information as a lead in my command database, right? Maybe I go to my what's my home worth page on my website where they can get an instant home value if they give me their contact information and put their home address in here. Right click, QR code. That's the QR code to the home value page of my website, which I can then put on my branding, right? I could put it on my flyers. If I'm holding an open house, I could put that QR code down in the corner and say, if you're looking to sell, scan this to see what your home is worth, right? And it could be on the flyer at my open house, especially for the looky-loo neighbors that are coming over, right? So all of these things are things that we can use to brand ourselves. We could download this QR code, save it in our assets in Command. You could save it into Canva, right? Bottom line, consistency in what your items look like and consistency in how frequently you're sharing the information is what is going to ultimately help you to create a really good, strong brand for yourself. So hopefully these tips and tricks were helpful for you guys. I know that it's not Canva. I get that. And we're going to have it for a little bit. So we may as well use it for what it's worth, right? One quick thing that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to open it up for questions is, and I just did this, if you have a PDF, okay, not an image, not a PNG, not a JPEG, a PDF, which is like a file, a printable file, right? That's got like a flyer on it. Maybe you did make it in Canva, okay? You can come into Designs, and once you go to the My Projects tab at the top, there is a spot for you to import any PDF, okay? So if you made something you loved in some other system and you wanted to import it here, you can. Now, it's not always going to be perfect. For example, when I updated our path to get paid today, right? I imported the PDF that I had made because it was actually originally like a Keller Williams Realty International PDF, and I've just used it over the years and edited it. When I pulled it in, it didn't have the same fonts that were used to originally create that flyer. So it told me it was missing fonts and I had to like select fonts to replace it with. So, you know, it took some editing from that point, but now I've done it. I've edited it. It's there. I've gotten the fonts the way that I want them to be. And now I have it here and it's fully able to be edited, right? So even if it was an image or something that you made in Canva or some other design platform, save it from there as a PDF instead of an image and you can upload it here. Hopefully all the components, I can't promise it, but hopefully the components will be editable and you'll be able to now have it in here and be able to edit it, right? So hopefully that's another good tip in case you are a lover of Canva, which I am as well. I get it. So now, do we have any questions?
I'm always the one that has questions.
That's okay. I love that you ask questions because someone else might have the same question, Grace. Go for it.
That's true. Well, one, I figured out what was going wrong with my thing, so that's fixed. I was in KW only instead of my personal side.
Gotcha. Great.
When we acquire Canva, is all of the learning and all the work that we're putting in now just gonna be like kind of starting over, or you don't know? Okay, that's fine.
I have no idea. I didn't get to go to family reunion this year because Gary, I mean, I'm just going to have a conversation with him about his scheduling because family reunion was right over state tournaments for basketball for my daughter and it's family business. So I was like, I love y'all and I'm not going to miss because, you know, she's 16. I don't have that much more time. I'm not going to miss state playoffs.
How'd she do?
They won the first round, which is the first time in 7 years that our high school girls have won at all in the state, much less been in the state playoffs, but actually won a game.
That's
in the
awesome.
second game, they lost pretty bad to Lake David. But I mean, it's like a team of college players, so I wasn't like super mad about it. It could have definitely been worse. But you know, it was what it was. So I've only heard about the Canva thing through the grapevine, and they didn't say a lot about it. They just had Canva there. They did give us a 20% discount for Canva Pro if you're KW.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find that for you guys real quick.
And then does Command and I forget what this is called. You brand. Do they do anything? Do they do anything for Reels for Instagram or videos or anything like that? No.
Okay. We don't have any video functionality in here as of now. Let me see. There it is. I will download this. And I will drop this in the chat. You guys will just have to scan the QR code. But you can download this that I'm dropping in the chat to your computer. And that gives, I don't, oh, shoot a monkey. It's by February 29th. Dang it. If it's something that you want to do, I will see if I can find another way to do this. I just noticed that date on there. But I'll see what I can find out about it. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Why do you prefer, I guess, Canva in comparison to this? And forgive my ignorance, I've never messed with either one of them. I just know everyone in the past has always recommended Canva. I guess, what does Canva do better? Or does it do anything better?
A lot of people think it's easier, and Grace can speak to this because Grace has been in both before. A lot of people think it's easier and they think it's more robust,
For me,
for lack of a better word. Go ahead,
Gotcha.
Grace.
All inclusive.
For me, I like it because it has a lot of graphics, whereas I feel like Command, they'll have like a couple, but like a couple of things I do for my business is I do like a newsletter. So each month I send something out. And so Canva has a lot of like, oh, it's March. Here's like 20 different clovers to choose from. Here's 10 different pots of gold to choose from. And so there's more variety when it comes to like graphics. But yeah, that's the only thing I really love about it. I also like how easy it is to like do on my phone too, because I do a lot of
That's
reels.
important.
I'll have like a cover for my reel so that if you're scrolling on my Instagram, you can like, if someone's like, oh, Grace did a reel about inspections, they can scroll and be like, oh, here it is about inspections. So I have a cover for it.
Cool.
So I like that. But
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
And
thanks.
I don't think there's
appreciate that.
anything wrong, y'all, with using like both, right? And I have a lot of agents that do design their newsletter in Canva, and then they send it through Command, right? They
Okay.
actually send
that's
it
exactly what I do.
Yeah.
through Command, but they
Yeah.
just made it over in Canva, which that's fine. Like, we're independent contractors, right? So as long as it's within the limits of the law, we can use it, right? You don't
And I
like
think
the Keller Williams
Command-
website, you don't have to use it.
Command's so much better for like listings because to not have to like re-upload photos each time or re-upload the information, you just click the little recycle button. That is so nice and saves so much time.
Yeah. And you're within your brand guidelines and you don't have to worry about if you're following it or not, because it was created by Keller Williams. So you know that you're good. So, I agree. All right. What else? Oh, hold on. Why we have a lot of people rolling into my Zoom right now, but I actually have a one-on-one at 2. Anything else before we close up? We all good? Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming to the class. I will have this up and on YouTube by the end of day today, and it will become featured on the front page of kwtechcoach.com. If you haven't bookmarked this site, please do. I'm going to replace this featured class with today's class. But you can access all of them by going to my YouTube link. Just remember, Command Bootcamp classes are not on YouTube because YouTube will take them down because they're saying that I'm sharing people's personal content, even though it's demo contacts, it doesn't know the difference. So bootcamp videos only on kwtechcoach.com under Command Bootcamp, but everything else I do try to put up on the YouTube channel for you guys to access. Everybody good? Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'll have this put up and I'll put your resource guide down in the description box of the YouTube video. Thanks.